Today it's the turn of the independent candidate standing as Hartlepool's MP for this next parliamentary election on December the 12th, Joe Bousfield. Mr. Bousfield, thank you so much. I know with canvassing this is a hectic time. Out of the 6 candidates running in this election, it's probably true to say that you're the least well known. What is it you'd like the people of Hartlepool to know about you?
So I'd like the people of Hartlepool to know that I'm a local resident of the town. I've lived here my entire life. I was born here and I've went all through school in Hartlepool and I've been employed in Hartlepool, and I'd just like to see the town improve.
Improved?
Yes.
You're studying mechanical engineering at the moment?
Yes.
If you came elected, how would you balance that with being the Member of Parliament?
I would have to leave my college course and then run as parliamentary member full time. Yeah,
and so what would you I mean, that's a big ask to give up your career, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big ask to represent the people of Hartlepool, but I hope I'm able to fulfil everyone's wishes.
Good answer. Who or what inspired you to run for Hartlepool MP?
I was inspired by people not feeling fully represented in Hartlepool, and I'd just like to give them a voice, because my entire reason for running is to fully represent the people of Hartlepool. I will constantly give them updates on parliamentary life and put votes in Parliament to the people of Hartlepool.
And have you always been interested in politics, or was this the sort of final thing you just had to get involved?
It sort of grew since I was about 15, and I've just got more and more involved. It's a very interesting subject and affects everyone's lives.
Oh, certainly it does. And if you weren't elected this time, would you consider running as a local councillor?
Of course, yes. I believe if you fail once, you should try again.
Absolutely right. Everyone would want me to ask, since this is specifically really what the election in December 2019 is about, are you a Leave or a Remainer, and why?
My personal preference.
Yeah.
So personally, my opinion is to Leave, and I want to represent the entire population of Hartlepool, so I would vote Leave, and hopefully we should be able to secure a trade agreement with the EU, just purely dealing with trade, and all we have to follow is European trade laws, and we'll remain a sovereign nation outside of the EU's influence.
Which out of that is the most important to you?
To remain a sovereign nation.
Okay. When we announced that you had kindly agreed to do an interview, the response was mainly to ask you if you felt that by being an independent, you might split the vote in Hartlepool. What would be your response to that way of thinking?
I'd want to encourage healthy debates going on in Hartlepool. I would offer to host regular debates and polls, and people can tell me their views, and I would vote accordingly to whichever side holds the majority.
Right.
And I know that's a problem in politics. We sometimes get 50-50 decisions, and really with that the best I can do is go for the one that people feel strongest for.
Yeah. And how tough has it been for canvassing for you?
It's more the cold than anything. It's
yeah, this is a horrible time of year, isn't it?
It's hard to get people involved. Most of the time they just want to go from indoors, so outside canvassing quite difficult.
And when you've been knocking on doors, what have you found has been the main problems for the people in Hartlepool as you've knocked on doors and got people's opinions?
So I've been asking the people of Hartlepool, and most of it is about our hospital, the police, and our education system.
In any specific?
So the hospital, people would like to see it return, so would I. I believe we should start off small, introduce more and more, and then eventually build back up to become an A&E hospital.
How would you, as an independent, how would you, if you got elected and went down to Westminster, how would you go about tackling these issues?
So every issue, I would ask the people of Hartlepool what their views are, and I would give my own opinion, just like everyone else, and then we would work out a solution and then vote accordingly.
And clearly independents in Westminster won't get the majority. So what would you personally, which party would you personally want to see as a majority in Westminster?
I personally would like to see a split parliament where everyone works together. You shouldn't cause division. I think everyone should work together. We live in the same country and we should hope to do the best for each other.
I know, but I'm going to
Yes.
press you a little bit. Somebody's got to
Right.
be in a majority. What would be, because people would want to know that for sure.
Right. I would probably lean Conservative for the moment, just until Brexit is completed. But after that, I'm easy to all options.
So there's no one party that specifically does it for you?
No, not ideally. Because with parties, what you tend to get is you like most things and then some things you disagree with. And what I am trying to run on is that I can provide for everyone, being an independent. I don't have a party policy to follow. I just have proposals that I'd like to put forward, and hopefully the people of Hartlepool would support them.
And no whip?
No whip.
No whip.
No.
Is that the main thing?
Yes, no one telling me how to vote in Parliament or encouraging me.
Yeah. Well, it's a big ask for everybody to get on together. Is this the thing that, the fact that there's so much disharmony, is that the thing that really has prompted you to do this? Because this is not easy. It's very expensive to do, and here you are doing it, and I applaud you for that. And in fact, all the candidates running, especially at this time of year, it's just such a horrible time to campaign. And you can see now why they want to do it in May, not at this time of year. But is this disharmony the thing that really pushed you?
In a way, yes. I believe that people should feel secure to approach me in the street, or if I get elected, contact me. And no matter of the background or what they believe in, feel safe that they can voice their views and opinions, and that I'd be open to hear them.
One of the main things with Hartlepool, in this area predominantly, is the issue of immigration. What's your personal stance on immigration?
I purely want to deal with it as a numbers perspective. So personally, I think there is too much at the moment, and I'd like to see it reduced and introduced a sort of Australian-style points-based system on skills. And one of the main things that will happen over in the future is automation of labour. So more and more people will be have their jobs taken away because of automation, and people would have to be trained in different subjects to escape that. And I'd like to see a sort of stabilisation of the population so that we can manage what we have at the moment.
So we haven't got so much pressure on jobs, hospital beds and
Yes.
school places and so
Yes.
on. Okay. Do you have any thoughts on education? Because you've just gone through the education process yourself.
Personally, I didn't have any problems with it, but I will say that teachers should have less pressure to make children succeed, because everything isn't about a scorecard on a sheet. It's more about what you learn, how you learn, how you take away from it. And I'd also like to say that if you do well in exams in secondary school, it doesn't necessarily mean you're equipped for university. I personally wasn't. I did well in my GCSEs, but I personally wasn't well versed at university.
Well, thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to add about your platform?
I'd just like to say that everyone's vote matters, and I hope that everyone uses it on the 12th of December.
Absolutely. Everybody should be a lot more involved, right?
Yes. I don't mind. I don't mind if you don't vote for me. I would just like everyone to vote.
To go out and
Yes.
vote, yeah.
Because it's the most important duty we have.
Absolutely. Absolutely right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks very much.
Just to give you another update, hopefully we'll have the interview with Stephen Houghton, the Conservative. Still no word from Mr. Cranny, and the Social Labour Party.
Please like and follow Hartlepool TV on Facebook and YouTube.